Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Good evening. Happy, what is it? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Yeah, no hat. Well, I kind of have my hat. It's actually right here. So my normal hat is in the car. And I just remembered it was in the car right before I came out to go live. So I was like, I'm not gonna run out to the car. So I'll put this one on instead. My other favorite one. It's kind of dark in here. Let me adjust this. Man, how is everyone doing? Happy Tuesday. Almost a long weekend if you're in the US. That's a little bit better. Almost Thanksgiving, which means a lot of different things, and hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone has some time off. Let me adjust this. How's everyone doing? Let's see, man. Yeah, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's doing good. Hopefully people have been able to enjoy some time off, possibly. If not, hopefully you have some time off this week. Let's see, PC Geek, first in. Yeah, man, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, you see the new emotes. Yeah, so I just kind of whipped them up. I'll show you higher quality versions of these here in a little bit. But yeah, I that's what happens when I actually have time to work on stuff. I can actually work on stuff. So yeah, there are new sub emotes. There are some more other things coming soon. Like I said last stream, you'll start to see a lot of different things, either here in Twitch, in Discord, on YouTube, now that I have a little bit of time off, for the holiday. So yeah, new emotes, more coming soon, for sure. So what's up? Wow, how's it going, PC Geek? Treadstone, heyo, how's it going? Craven, yeah, man, you guys are seeing them all now. Yeah, these are all, I'll go into them here in a little bit, but they're all inspired by things we've either run into, things we're familiar with, things we hate, or just things that have, I don't know, just happened. Soberbot94, hey, how's it going? Cryptix69, how's it going? Vash, good evening. D Panesso, hey, how's it going? Finally got you live. Yeah, welcome. Hey, how's it going? Glad you're here live. Hopefully you're doing well. PC Geek, trying out Windows 2019 Server VM test. Nice. So is that the latest? Hey, D Panesso, hey, thanks for the sub. Man, thank you so much. Thanks for subscribing. Tier 1, got some lights going. Most of the lights going. Yeah, thank you so much. D Panesso, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Wow, first live stream and sub, and thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the new emotes that we just created. I just created them about 2 hours ago. I tried to sneak them into Discord too, but PC Geek, nothing gets by him. He saw them right away, and I was like, oh man, I wanted them to be able to sync up and get there, but I didn't have a way to just I don't know. I could have disconnected my Twitch account from Discord, but I was like, whatever. People discover them a little bit early. That's totally fine with me. Anyways, Deep Esso, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome to the stream. This is your first live one. Thank you for the support. Enjoy your sub and your new emotes that we just created. So PC Geek, trying out Windows Server 2019. Nice. Is Server 2019? Yeah, that's the latest and greatest from Microsoft, right? I think the last one I played around with was Server 2016, and I did it headless. I forget what Microsoft calls it, without the GUI. Core, Windows Server Core, I think it's called. And I did it. It was pretty okay. But yeah, let me know how that goes, man. Yeah. DiPanesso just bought a new NAS. Nice. What did you buy? QNAP, Synology, or are you rolling your own? Are you rolling your own? PC Geek, oh nice. Vash, studying for the JNCIA. Nice. I don't know what the JNCIA is. Fill me in on that. PC Geek, this seems like the month for all new hardware purchases. Yeah, it totally is. I've said this a few times, but February, what is going on? February? What year is it? November always turns into the month I buy most of my stuff, and it has nothing to do with Black Friday or the holiday season. I think it's just a little bit of, have some extra money at the end of the year, need to spend it before the end of the year. And also, deals help. Deals always help. And then, a little bit of it is thinking about next year, what I want to do. And so a lot of times I need infrastructure in place to do those kind of things. But I do the same thing. I think I built that PC that's right there 3 years ago. My whole entire 1U servers, all that stuff was this month too. I do it every year. And then a year ago from this month, is when I got my Dell R710 and built out a lot of my infrastructure. I mean, and then that rolled into, you know, January, February, March, or get racking it and everything. So yeah, PC Geek, I totally blame Techno Tim for it. He inspires us all to buy new stuff. I don't mean to. I don't want to be like buy, consumerism and all this stuff for sure. I mean, you guys know I always recommend using what you have first, and so I'm a huge fan of you know, reduce, reuse, recycle. You know, so you know, reduce what you're going to buy by reusing something that was destined for the trash or something like that. So yeah, I always recommend using something you have first. When people are like, hey, I want to build a mini home lab and want to play around and want to test some stuff, I always say, find an old PC, use an old PC, use your existing PC and upgrade that one. That goes into buying too, but still. DiPanesso gets here next week. Nice. What did you settle on? Treadstone. Tim, you have inspired me so much that my gaming card in my home. Whoa. Tim, you inspired me so much that my gaming card is in my home lab for now. At least Minecraft doesn't need much GPU. Nice. Yeah, it's yeah, isn't it nice sometimes having a GPU in your server or a remote machine? It's so fantastic. Again, you know, I had older video cards and I was like, how can I put these things to use? And then, yeah, and then I put them in servers, and it's pretty cool the things you can do with them, especially when you get into Docker containers and stuff like that, because then you can share, you know, that load across or share that GPU across multiple containers. But yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So what are you doing, Treadstone? What's the GPU doing in your server? What's its workload going to be? What's its task? DiPanesso, me too, LOL. Cryptics, wonders in bad internet. Jazz Smith, Rancher, JNCIA, Security Plus. Nice. Treadstone, why is the Star stream music so fire? Hey, this is all, I say this all the time, but this is StreamBeats, and you don't know, I've said it on Twitter, I say it on here, but most of the music, all the music I play on Twitch, most of the music on my social media, and most of the music from YouTube is all StreamBeats, and it's 100% free. It's from Paris Heller, and he creates it and produces it and gives it away for free. So yeah. Everything you hear is always StreamBeats, and so I kind of had the same couple songs on the intro. I need to mix it up a little bit. So PC Geek, no hat. Yeah, I fixed that. My hat is in the back of the car. It's in the back seat. It's so funny because, like, I think I drive once a week now, if that. And so the last time I drove, I threw it in the back seat because I grabbed my winter hat because it's colder out here in Minnesota. And then I forgot to get it. I even recorded a video, no hat, whenever I did that a couple days ago, the one for next week. And I was just like, well, hat's in the car. I'm feeling lazy. No hat video. Plus, I gotta throw off the algorithm. I can't wear hats all the time. Maybe one day I'll get no hat, no glasses, because I need to mix up the algorithm for YouTube. PC Geek, there you go. Yeah. Savvy Privateer, nice. What is the model? I'm thinking of getting one too, but kind of in two minds. Thinking of a DIY server instead of a NAS. Yeah. And both are great options. Went with DIY. All right. I love DIY because it's so flexible. And if one day you decide you don't want a NAS anymore, well, you know how you make it not a NAS? You just take out some of the hard drives and install a different operating system. Or you just keep all the drives in anyways and you install a different operating system. I'm a huge fan of DIY for sure. Savvy Privateer, not sure. DiPanesso, had a Synology. Nice. Or have one, but went DIY. Went with some old hardware and some new. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Lincoln Shadow. Hey, hi there. How's it going? How are you? Savvy Privateer. I think it depends on what you want and your use case, for sure. Yeah, hardware does for sure. Mike Outlander, I came here to ask you how the new 1U servers will connect to the disk array. Hey, thank you, Mike Outlander. Thanks for hanging around until I got to your comment. Yeah, great question. So I have, it's kind of complicated, but not really. So I run TrueNAS. And I run TrueNAS virtualized. And then I have an HBA controller, so an LSI HBA controller, and I pass that controller through to my TrueNAS virtual machine, and then from there, that HBA controller connects to my disk array shelf. And the connection is it's like QSFP plus to FS. I don't know, a lot of pluses, a lot of Fs, and a couple S's in there. So it has a specialized connection. And the disk shelf I use is a NetApp disk array. I think it's favored amongst some people. That might even be in this channel. I think P. Diddy has one. That's how it connects to that through an HBA controller. And it has the external SAS QSFP plus connection. I have to look at the cable again. And then so what that allows me to do is virtualize the operating system, but then give TrueNAS direct access to all of my disks. And then so I have a 24 disk array. I've only populated 6. I debate going down to 12. I might downsize someday. Who knows? Then I'll kick myself in the butt in about 2 years when I need 24 disks. And then that's how I run it. And I have a quick old video that's very terrible on virtualizing FreeNAS, and you can see it there. Same idea. But yeah, hopefully that helps, Mike Outlander. Hopefully you're still there to hear that question answered. Cryptics, yeah, it's time. PC Geek, yeah, man, yeah. Technicus, hey Tim, what advice do you have for a 20-year-old who's getting started in IT? Wow, youngin', I love it. My major in college is electronics, but I mostly work on programming and cloud computing. Is a master's degree needed to progress in the IT industry? That's a tough question. It depends on what you want to do in the IT industry. So I'll say that there are lots of people right now who don't even have a bachelor's in computer science who are doing IT. There are people who don't even have a college degree who are doing, who are in IT or working in IT. But then again, on the flip side, you have people who do have a master's in computer science or a bachelor's in computer science. So it can go either way. It kind of depends on how far you want to take it. Me personally, I don't have a bachelor's in computer science. Nope. I got a bachelor in something else. And so I had a minor. And so I kind of fell back on my minor. So, it just depends. There are so many roles and so many needs right now in IT that as long as people have some experience or show a passion or working on passion projects themselves before they even have experience, I think a lot of companies are willing to make a bet on people and give them opportunities. So, that one's tough because like I said, I know people all across the board. I know people at bachelor's who don't even have a bachelor in science, master's in computer science, or master's in business, or a bachelor in something else. So it's all over the place, Technicus, but yeah. So that's probably not the greatest advice. You may just want to, after you graduate college, test out the market. If the market's bad at the time when you graduate, go after your master's. I don't know, but there's probably a lot of people that have probably better advice than that, because that was not the greatest advice. But like I said, I know people from all over the place that have all different kinds of experiences in all different types of roles. And so, yeah, hopefully that helps. Craven, yeah, what's up, man? Change password. Yeah, I created that one because every now and then Takano puts his password in here, and I know he's just trolling, but still. Cypher, what's happening, Tim? Hey, how's it going? Let's see, Cryptics. I don't know how else to say this, but I might have some news regarding FTL, faster than light. What's FTL? FTL is faster than light, I think. Fill me in. Dale Kurt, hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Techno Tim, love the new One Use service. Thank you. Yeah, it's super awesome. Man, Kraft and I synced up on that one. We both released videos on One Use servers. Like we didn't talk or anything, but that was pretty awesome. It was pretty cool. They're both on our radars. But thank you. Yeah, that one was took me some time. Like I said, there are some videos that take a lot of time that I put a lot of time and energy. I put a ton of time and energy into all of them all together. That one just took a little bit longer as you could see. Savvy Privateer. Hi, Tim. Found your YouTube videos through the recommendation. Nice. Go algorithm. Really good content. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. Welcome, Savvy Privateer. D. Panesso. I'm getting better at pronouncing every time. Just want to say you are an inspiration, and I found much content I love in your channel. Thank you. It feels so good to find people that enjoy what I enjoy. Much love from Colombia. Hey, thank you so much. I feel the same way. And when I got into this, I went into it thinking like, okay, you know, because I say this a lot, and I don't mean to get all super sentimental, but I don't know anyone personally who likes any of the things that I talk about or make videos about. Hey, Savvy Privateer, thanks for the sub. Thank you so much. Thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But not to get all super sentimental, but I don't know anyone who likes the things that I like in person. Absolutely no one. I'm not lying either. Because people either are in IT who that's their job and then have different passions outside of IT. And me, that's my job. I mean, I'm a software developer, software engineer, but my passion is also IT or infrastructure, because that's how I got started in IT in general. And so, when I started the channel, I was just like, well, I'm gonna document things that I like and I do, and maybe I'll find people that kind of like and do the same thing. And I sure got lucky, because I found a lot of people that do like the same thing. So anyways, I appreciate that. I've been inspired by other channels too. Absolutely. Like Craft Computing, Jeff, like totally inspired by his channels over the years. And, I realized through that, like, wow, we have a ton of similar interests. And, and I even sent a message to him on Twitter before I even started my channel, just telling him, asking him for advice and asking him, how he solved certain problems. And he was very, responded to me, super nice, just super great guy. And so anyways, hopefully I'm paying some of that inspiration back, because I was inspired by a ton of people, and I still am. And I'm glad you're inspired. And so just pass that on to someone else. That's all I ask. But thank you. PC Geek, yep, server core, too much PowerShell for me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a lot of PowerShell. But sometimes the reason why I did server core, it's all coming back to me now, is because I was setting up game servers, and I wanted to set up my game servers on Windows. Well, they had to run on Windows. It was like Steam and what's the Origin. And so I was setting up game servers, and I was like, well, I don't need a full UI and all this stuff. I just need to launch Steam from a command line and launch it, and just have a process that's watching it. I forget what it's called. There's some service watcher that has a really funny name. And that's when I was like, cool, I'll try server core. It actually worked out really good between, a little bit of scripts and terminal, CMD, and like just going through UNC paths, I got like my Steam launcher to launch my games and launch game servers that way. And I was like, this is pretty cool. It's using like half the resources, but yeah, other than that, like, no, I know what you mean. Too much PowerShell. Yeah, for sure. I'm not a PowerShell expert. That's for sure. I have a bare metal PC running for my current NAS. Nice. Want to see if I can move it over to my Proxmox though, since it's doing nothing else. Yeah, I love it. Oh, Vash, Juniper equivalent of the CCNA. Okay, so the Cisco Certified Networking Administrator or something like that? I gotcha. And so that's the Juniper equivalent. Thank you. I didn't know that acronym, so I appreciate it. FTL is the streaming protocol. I think it's making a comeback. Yeah, FTL, I think it was. Faster than light. I think that was Microsoft's, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, I just have to get off my chest. Yeah, I think FTL was faster than light. FTL, I think. Microsoft, right? Anyways, Treadstone, I have a Titan X 12 gig 980 Ti, plans for Plex, machine learning, and maybe some transcoding folding at home. Wow, that is awesome. Well, that's sweet. Yeah, pass it through. Do it in Docker, because then you can share, all of those Docker containers can take advantage of that one GPU, all of those processes. That's awesome. And I think there's even a driver. I think there's a driver for Linux that unlocks the multiple lanes, because I think I read that NVIDIA restricts it to 2 streams. I haven't seen it. I've seen it I've seen random things on Docker and transcoding with my video card, but there is a driver for Linux which unlocks all of those lanes. So you might want to look into that. I saw it in GitHub for sure. Takano, yeah, man. Takano found the banana. So yeah, man. I just jammed something in there really quick because I'm like, I know he's gonna try it. I know somebody's gonna try it next time. That's not its final form. That is not its final form. I just figured, well, I'd rather have that than the big, sorry, try something else. So, that's not that command's final form. I'll have something more for everyone soon. We'll see, or maybe it will, maybe it won't. You'll have to try. It's kind of, hey, real quick, I didn't realize, Mr. Heartstomper. Hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Welcome. Smogless Amoeba. Whoa, that's an interestingly unique name. Smogless, or I'm gonna go with Smogless Amoeba, and Mr. Heartstomper. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Welcome. Takano, working on the Christmas light show right now. That's why I was a bit late. Hey, excuses. Yeah, I agree, PC Geek. No worries at all. PC Geek, it should just be a mini SAS 808, right? The NetApp D4246. Yeah, thank you. It is. It is a mini SAS 808, but I'll have to look. It is an 808, you're right, on one side, but it's something different on the other side though too. But yeah, good call. It's all coming back to me. It is an 808 on one side. I bought the wrong cable once too. So if someone ever plans on doing that, just ping me. I know the exact cable because I bought the wrong one once. CompSci 282, old dog here, learning new tech. All right, I love it. Another case of I watched Tim's videos. Now I bought a bunch of hardware. Oh man, I say use hardware you have. If you breathe a new life into old hardware that's in your basement or in your garage or somewhere, that's what I love. Kidding, well, not kidding. Anyway, learned a lot from your videos. First time on Twitch, welcome. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. And thank you, for making it all the way here. I really appreciate it, CompSci 282. Welcome to Twitch. Thank you so much. And thanks for popping in and chatting for sure. Cryptics, what made you so interested in home labs? Yeah, this is, how much time you got? Let me think. So I kind of told the story how I got into it first. And I'll do the super quick version, and then I'll kind of touch on like why I still do it and why I enjoy it. So the quick version of how I got into it was I worked for a health system out of college. I worked tech support, and I noticed we were always throwing away old PCs. Literally sometimes throwing old cases in the dumpster, and these were old ones, and this is probably before that was kosher. We had a removal service like later on, but sometimes the actual metal physical case, everything but the components, we throw in the dumpster. Anyways, that's not important. And I noticed we were just getting rid of a lot of them, and I wanted to learn. I wanted to do some more stuff at home, and I thought, man, we're just throwing away these semi-decent PCs. I mean, they were ancient at the time we were throwing them away, but I was young out of college and only had one PC. I was like, I can do and learn a bunch of stuff with this. And, we were a Windows shop. And so I was like, this is awesome. Like if I had one of these at home, I could create a domain controller. I could do DNS. I could do DHCP. I could set up a file server. I could like learn about all this stuff that all these system administrators do. That seems like magic to me. And that's kind of how it started. I asked my manager, he's like, that thing is old as dirt. Why do you want it? And I said, I want to learn. I want to build a file server. I want to build, Active Directory, DHCP, DNS, all this stuff. And so he was just like, just take the hard drives out. Hey, Shuckle Samurai, dude, thank you so much. Gifted, whoa, man. Shuckle Samurai, dude, thank you so much, man. Shuckle Samurai, 5 gifted subs. Whoa, man, thank you so much. Opus, Pitchfork, Hades, Punit, Technicus, Alphasels. Enjoy the gifted subs from Shuckle Samurai. Dude, thank you so much. But yeah, enjoy the gifted subs from them. Enjoy the new emotes that we have. And I missed one in there too. Snarky, I can't pronounce that. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Shuckle Samurai, dude, thank you so much. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Thank you. But But yeah, so long story short, I wanted to learn. That's all it was. I wanted to learn these systems that system administrators were using, and instead of me just using management consoles and kind of, you know, following instructions on how to do something, I wanted to learn what it was about. And so that's all it was learning. After that, it never stopped. You know, I had one PC, two PC. Every time I upgraded another PC, that was my old server, and it was always like that. Upgrade my PC, hand me down was my next server, and then that one was a PC to one of my family members who had one that was, you know, pretty old too. So that's all it has ever been. I mean, and then it got to a point where I was like, oh, okay, well, I wanna host a blog. I wanna have a blog. I have no idea who would read what I have to say, but I just kept a blog for a long time, and it was basically my documentation online, so that I could always get to it. And it was it was an easy way for me to keep my notes publicly on how to do things. And then, you know, that snowballed into other things. I mean, you know, for a while I pretty much was a mini ISP in my apartment complex. You know, I set up networking. I set up a captive portal, and I told everybody, pay me $5 or whatever. We'll split the internet 10 ways, 15 ways, and we'll all, you know, go in on it. And I bought all these access points. And so it's always just been like that for me. It's just always, you know, I come up with some idea and I do it and I make it work, and then I figure out how to make it better, and I just keep doing that. So I iterate on things. Anyways, that's progressed and progressed and progressed. And now I have apps and services and all kinds of things that run. And I love self-hosting stuff. I love keeping stuff within my own infrastructure. And it's not even so much about security or I'm worried about data. It's just because it's fun. It's always been fun to me. Like, infrastructure has always been super fun. So anyways, yeah, that's me. That's how I got into it. That's why I still do it. And that's what, you know, that's what always drives me to keep doing it, is just to be able to learn, to try new things, to have a whole entire environment I could spin up really quick and try and test some stuff. You know, and then once I had a big enough virtualization server to where I could spin up 5, 10, 15, 20 virtual machines, there was no stopping me, because then it's like, okay, now I'm not limited by hardware anymore. You know, I'm not bound by CPU, I'm not bound by RAM, I'm not bound by hard disk, performance, anything. So yeah. And then came Docker and Kubernetes and all that stuff. But that came from being a software developer too. So yeah. Cryptics, I don't know. I could talk about it all night for sure. But the spirit of a home lab has been with me for a really long time too, even before they were called home labs too. Because, you know, I think it's just that spirit of wanting to have your own environment that you can spin up and test and evaluate things and try new things. And, you know, a lot of people have only, you know, in the past, were only able to do the cool stuff at work or the cool stuff in a computer lab in college or anywhere else. And now it's, you know, you could do it all on commodity hardware in your basement. So, and so I've been doing that even before virtualization was around. And so virtualization just made it a lot more effective and efficient for me. Yeah. Technicus, that's nice. Thanks for answering my question. I know it was a bit too serious. No worries at all. I'm always serious. Not really, but yeah, kind of. Mike Outlander, I know that the connection on the Dell R710 was through the PCI slot, but the 1U servers are using the 1 slot for GPU. Wasn't sure how you worked that out. Yeah. So, on the Dell R710, it's funny, I just tweeted that stuff out earlier today. So on the Dell R710, yeah, like I have more PCI Express slots. I think I can use 4 technically. And my GPU that I was using, I used a 1650 and a 1050. That would take up 2 slots, and that would pull all the power from the PCI Express slot. But my new 1U servers, there is only 1 slot, but I purposely chose the P2200 for a couple of reasons, but mainly because it was a true 1U width or height slot. And the other reason why I chose it is because it too draws all its power from the PCI Express slot. And so I you know, in servers, I know I could go big and probably find interesting ways to run power two video cards, but I've always kind of been hands off with that. And on the One Use 2 that I have, there's absolutely no way to get a 2U, like a beefy desktop class GPU in there unless I was going to remove the fan shroud and remove everything and water cool it or passively cool it somehow. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I chose the P2200 because of its size and because it drew power from the PCI Express slot and because it's a little more powerful, at least on for the CUDA cores and NVENC than what I had prior. Yeah. Dreadstone, my current IT job, I just got haggling over used servers on Facebook Marketplace. No degree. You never know where you'll end up. Nice. Yeah, for sure. Lincoln Shadow, trying to get back to Linux. Your YouTube videos motivated me to get my hands dirty. Nice. Started to build out a NAS, true NAS, virtualization. Them going to take a next step and build a machine. All right. I love it. All these projects. Takano. I know that's not a real password, but someone should have got him with the password emote now that we have it. Cryptids, that's more like BSD than Linux, if I recall correctly. Oh yeah, true NASes. Takano, there goes my SSH password and Proxmox VM. Yeah, right. Well, we have an emote now. We have an emote now for you, Takano. I don't know if you saw it, but I'll show you here in a little bit. What happens if I do it twice? You never know. What happens if you do it 3 times? Technicus, let me grab a drink real quick. Have you had any DMCA issues with StreamBeats? Absolutely not. And that's part of, I guess, Harris Heller's promise, or StreamBeats' promise, is that you will never get a DMCA takedown. And so I probably know this history a little bit too well, only because I follow him on Twitter and because he's awesome. So I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm going to. So he created StreamBeats so that people could use music freely on YouTube, Twitch, I think Mixer at the time, and other social networks, so that they can use it freely without worrying about a DMCA takedown. He said, I think recently, that the only way that a DMCA takedown could be issued for StreamBeats is if he issued one himself, because he owns the record label for it too. So he produced the music, he owns the record label, and he would have to be the one that issues the DMCA takedown. I'm not a lawyer, but I follow him on Twitter, and this is what he says. And so he's not going to do that. And so I've never, ever once had a problem getting muted, getting music misclassified, getting demonetized, none of that. And all he asks is that people play it. Now, obviously, he makes royalties from it, as he should. It's his creation. And so he's done the nice thing and just said, hey, anyone can use it for basically anything. So yeah, anyways, it's pretty awesome. And I enjoy it. I use it in all of my stuff now because there's a song for every occasion. I'm getting kind of low on him though, but he'll have more for sure. XOR, yo, what's up? How's it going? Mr. Heartstomper, gonna stick with Proxmox or venture into hypervisors with the new machine? Yeah, great question. Gonna stick with Proxmox. So I've already been venturing in. It's been super fun. Man, I'm not gonna lie, it's super awesome. And it's been awesome too that I've had time off to like deep dive now, because I feel like, I only get to scratch the surface with a lot of cool things. And so the last couple of days I've had the day off and I've actually been able to deep dive on my new servers. I did all my migrations yesterday, 100% migrated. I shut down the other 2 servers. And my hunch was right. I said that I might be able to save some power. When I did a quick check, everything full tilt, I was saving 150 watts of power. And that's not super scientific. That's just me looking at my UPS and seeing what the power draw is. But I was like, this is fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted, was to draw less power, use less space on my shelf, and many other things that it unlocks. And then on top of that, so yeah, I'm going to stick with Proxmox. I set up a cluster yesterday. I set up a cluster last week, but I actually didn't really get to play with it until I started migrating stuff. And that's when I started realizing how awesome it was. Like, live migrations are pretty awesome. Obviously, they take a little bit of time, and it's not all network too, So the thing to to think about it, if you ever do Proxmox clustering, it's like some network, some CPU, you know, because I think it has to do a lot of calculations too for the diff at the very end. And I think it's compressing it too, especially for backups, you know, it compresses and decompresses on the way back out. So it's not all, you know, network, but a lot of it is. Anyways, yeah, it's been super awesome. Live migrations are sweet. Even just being able to migrate in general, besides a backup, restore, just to right click, migrate to this other server and just walk away, and it will live migrate it for you when it's, you know, done, without skipping a beat. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I mean, it probably skips a beat or two, but you know, you don't have to do anything manually at all. So it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. Lots to learn still. So I didn't set it up in HA. I don't think I'm going to do HA because that would require 3 or quorum. And I know that there are, you know, ways to get around not having 3 identical servers. I've even seen some Raspberry Pi projects where you can spin up CoroSync. So CoroSync is, I think, the system that holds the election for votes for quorum. And I've seen some people spin it up on random PCs or random servers or even Raspberry Pis. But I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't need HA. At least I don't need Proxmox HA. So I am working on Kubernetes HA stuff. So it's super interesting too to get to dive deep. Tomorrow's my deep dive on a lot of stuff now that I have a lot of my infrastructure in place. But it's super fun. I mean, I just, you know, even all my databases, it's crazy because I feel like I just migrated my stuff like 4 months ago onto my Dell R710 from my old stuff, my Rancher One stuff, and now I'm like doing it again. But you know, you know, I feel like this is like iterating, like in software development. You iterate on things instead of a huge, you know, big bang release. You iterate on features, you iterate on everything in general in software for the most part. And I feel like this is another iteration of that, where I'm, you know, refining a lot of the rough edges that I had in my infrastructure prior to having 2 servers. And plus everything I learned from my other servers as well that have absolutely nothing to do with hardware, just, you know, simple things like storage, like RAID, you know, ZFS, you know, how I set up shares or how I set them up wrong or you name it, backup, scheduling. So it's been nice to kind of step back and rethink that again with 6 months of knowledge that I've acquired and get to look at it with fresh eyes. So yeah. Super fun though, super fun. I mean, imagine if someone's like, hey, here's 2 servers, like rebuild your infrastructure. You know, what would you do different this time? And so I get to think those things through. And having the time off too, it has been really nice because it's not like I need to get this done before I go to bed or I need to get this done before a video. I'll pick up on it tomorrow when I wake up. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, good question. Sorry, I don't mean to like gush on my servers, but it's been super fun. XOR, how's it going, man? How you doing? Deep NS, hey, Dragon Slayer 735. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Deep Nesso, what would you recommend? TrueNAS, Unraid, OE, or I think that means Proxmox with TrueNAS. Oh man. Oh, that's a tough one. So I haven't done anything with Unraid. Like I get it. I understand it. I understand why it's popular and it seems like an awesome product. And so, I can't comment on that combo. Maybe someone else can. But I think, I'm loving Proxmox. I used it as a standalone hypervisor for a couple of years now, and I'm just now doing clustering. And it's like a whole new product to me, where I like it even more. I do like that it's open source. It's got a pretty big community around it. And they're releasing features and fixes all the time. So that's not to say Unraid isn't a good product. I just don't have any experience with it. So DeepNSO, I wish I could answer that better. Maybe one day I'll spin up something in Unraid, but that requires more hardware. And yeah, hey, I can't use the excuse I don't have more hardware anymore, because now I do. But I might donate or do something with what I have. But yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Cat Pra, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Catter321. Wait, how delayed this stream is? Might not be delayed. It might be just a delay in me getting to your comments for sure. But I'll speed it up. Mike Outlander, almost no delay based on the subscriber responses. Cryptics, are there any Alpine or Arch-based hypervisors out there? Ooh, I don't know. Good question. There might be, but if you're doing Alpine, which is supposed to be super slim Linux, you got to put a lot of stuff on there to get a hypervisor. But yeah, I bet there is. I bet there is. Same with Arch, for sure. Cryptics, okay, my bad. No worries. Oh, wait. Lincoln Show, that was an example. Did some virtualization, CentOS, Ubuntu, trying some basic configurations. Too many years without touching Linux. 20 years. Hey, that's okay. Jay Smith, watched your video on self-hosted DevOps stack. Nice. Was a little overwhelming. I know it can be. Kind of like drinking from the fire hose. Yeah, I know. I have tinkered with programming and want to learn how to go from a Node app or a React app to a containerized Docker so that I can deploy it in my new K8s cluster. Hey, awesome. I said Capra. Hey, Jay Smith or Josh Smith. Yeah, I totally agree. I know that one's tough. But if you look at that video, I have the backing code for it too. And if you just take my GitHub, my GitLab YAML from there, you can use that YAML and just do the same thing. At least to build that Docker container and put it in your GitHub registry, in your container registry there. Getting it hosted is obviously is going to take some more work. And so that one's a culmination of everything I'd worked on prior to that. And I was just like, this is the video that ties it all together. So I got to release it. And I'm not going to lie, it's super complicated if you've never done any of that before. But if you need help, yeah, we'll be here. And we have a Discord channel too. Angry Admin, how's replacing storage with ZFS coming? Yeah, it's not too bad. So I had, oh yeah, well, technically, yeah, you're right in your question. I was going to say, I had ZFS before, but no, I was using a hardware RAID for all of my virtual machines before. So my Dell R710, has my H710. I think that's the name of the RAID adapter. But I had basically a stripe, mirrored stripe, like in ZFS. But it was a true RAID 10 or 1+0 with 6 drives. And so yeah, now I'm actually using ZFS mirrored, stripe mirror. So yeah, pretty good. It's nice being able to have direct access to my disks in Proxmox to see smart information, to see errors, to see wear out, see all that stuff. Because all that stuff is hidden from you, if you use a controller in between. So yeah, it's smooth. It's super smooth. Yeah, you'll see. And never mind. I was going to comment on something that would probably take me down a long path of then explaining what I'm going to be showing you in a couple of days. So anyways, Mr. Heartstopper. Oh yeah, lots of stuff. Lincoln Shadow. My English is not great, and on mobile it's harder. I explained badly. No, you didn't. You're totally fine. Don't worry about your English. It's totally fine. My English is terrible. Watch my videos. I use improper grammar. I mess up words. I mispronounce things. So don't worry about it, because it's English is tough even for me. Clay Crusher. What's your thoughts on TrueNAS scale so far? I spun it up. It's still in a virtual machine just sleeping. I should probably wake it back up. I like where it's going. I mean, the funny thing is, with them moving to Linux, that opens up a ton of possibilities, like KVM, like Docker, like all of these other things. And I was thinking, in Jeff, his one-use server build video he just did, he found really quickly that the NIC that was on board of that motherboard doesn't work with FreeBSD or TrueNAS. And I was just thinking, if that was TrueNAS scale, I bet it would. That's the first thing I thought in my head when he said, the drivers don't work with TrueNAS. I was thinking, I bet they would with Linux. And if not, you could figure it out real quick. But anyways, I haven't done a ton with TrueNAS scale. I spun it up, we built it, and we kind of looked at it and explored it. A lot of the features in there are like coming soon, and they're pointing back to wikis. It may have evolved since I looked at it last, but I'm super excited for it. I am super excited for it because I think we're going to see some really awesome stuff that we haven't seen before. And I know that you guys know this, but with TrueNAS now, you can scale vertically, right? You just throw more hardware at it, you throw more drives in it, you throw more RAM into it, throw more CPU cores into it, and you just scale, vertically. Well, TrueNAS Scale is meant to scale horizontally. So instead of throwing more resources at the one node, you add more nodes. And what does that mean? Yeah, I think we're going to find out. So I think it's cool. I made some predictions about stuff and storage and Kubernetes possibly and Docker containers. Because if they're going to start adding that stuff and they're building a platform to scale out, it only makes sense to run Kubernetes on those things too. And I haven't looked at their code base, but I mean, if you're going to build any platform that scales out, especially storage, running Kubernetes on those and creating a cluster would be pretty awesome too at the same time. But anyways, I'm just guessing at this point. I want to see more. They said 2021. And I can't remember if they hinted at first quarter, second quarter, but it to me sounded like early 2021. So wait and see. Maybe a new beta soon. Shoko Samurai, I hope you're all having a good night. Great stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for those gifted subs again too. Cryptics, I happen to have a Dell Optiplex with an i5 processor. What can I do with it? Oh, you can do so much. You can do so much. Yeah. Yeah, you can do so much with it. I mean, you could even, virtualization, NAS. I mean, the lots of possibilities for sure. Cryptics. Hey, Lincoln Shadow. Hey, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Lincoln Shadow, subscribe, tier 1. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, Cryptics. Yeah, there's so many things you could do. If you're not sure what to do, I would say install Proxmox, and then you have a lot more options. It might not be the fastest thing in the world, but if you want to, give Ubuntu a test run, or give Arch a test run, or Windows 10 a test run in a virtual machine, you can. And you don't have to destroy that machine every time, So that's something you can do. Technicus, Techno, sudo rm rf bin. Yeah, please don't. Yeah, PC Geek, you're on it. Thank you. Angry Admin, sounds like Tim is a clone of me. All right. I like this. It's funny. I like I said, when I started the channel, I knew that there were other people out there that like this kind of stuff too, but I didn't know anyone in person, so I found him. Or YouTube found him for me, the algorithm. Or you guys found me. I don't know how it works. Takano, going to have to head off the stream. Got to do a ton of stuff. Hey, man, good luck. The countdown has started for those Christmas lights because I think by law, you have to have Christmas lights up by Thanksgiving. Isn't that how it works? I shouldn't joke because mine aren't up yet either. So I need to get on them. But hey, thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. Later, Banana Man. Yeah, for sure. Cryptics, I have been wanting to try Homebridge, but all I have are Android devices. Yeah, that might not work because those are to control iOS devices or to connect devices to HomeKit. So I use it too. But yeah, still, yeah, you can give it a shot, but you have to have a HomeKit enabled device, like an iPad, an old iPad, Apple TV. One of those actually acts as your HomeKit server, which is actually pretty cool. Or I think their speaker now too. I don't know. I was always impressed that they actually got it to work on an iPad too, but the iPad has to stay on all the time. Technicus, Tim, do a dance? No, Tim? Sudo, do a dance. Yeah, sudo. Yeah, all right. Using the sudo already in context. Sudo do a dance. I was thinking about the sudo make me a sandwich, but then I was like, that's too much to fit on one thing. Lincoln Show, always learning. OS just want to keep going. What keep me going? Yeah. I know what you're trying to say. I totally agree. Always learning. Massim Online, for a small site, do we need Kubernetes or a Swarm fine? Yeah, fantastic question. For a small site, for small anything, Swarm is going to be fine. Swarm is totally going to be fine. Plain old Docker is going to be fine. But I think maybe you're asking about Compose versus Swarm. Because at the end of the day, like Swarm and Kubernetes are trying to accomplish the same thing. Same with Mesos. And so comparing, Kubernetes to just like Docker Compose is probably not the best comparison. So I think Swarm is too. I would say if you're guessing or questioning the whether you should use one or the other, you've already won the battle, right? Because you're already thinking about containerization, and you're already thinking about how you orchestrate that containerization. And so the rest is up to you. Kubernetes it's kind of hard. It's kind of tough. It's you can set it up a lot of different ways. And Swarm, the same could be said about that. I don't have a ton of experience with Swarm. All my experiences in Kubernetes, I understand how it works. But I would say, like, if you're using Swarm, yeah, totally keep using it for sure. Like, don't make things more complicated than they need to be, unless you're gonna, unless you're thinking about learning about it or thinking about migrating to it. Then yeah, for sure. And I talk about Rancher a lot, but Portainer too is fantastic for Swarm to manage a Swarm cluster. Even I think Rancher 1 manages Docker host and a few other orchestration frameworks out there. So if you're thinking about managing it with Kubernetes or managing it with Swarm, there might be tools out there to help you do that too, or make that transition, or understand more about what's going on. But if you know about those two and you're already containerizing and looking at orchestration frameworks, I think you've already won the battle. Now you just got to figure out what works best for you. Technicus, do a dance. No, I can't dance. I can't. At least not. Yeah. Anyways, Cryptics, but doesn't that require a good processor with a lot of cores? I think my processor only has 4. Cryptics, yes and no. It just depends. It depends on your workload. That's what I'll say, right? Because like you could spin up 4, 5, 6 Ubuntu servers that are doing nothing, absolutely nothing, 99.9% of the time, and they use very little resources as far as CPUs go. So RAM's nice to have, but there's ways around it too, right? With ballooning, or it's just going to end up paging as long as you have faster storage. Totally fine. SSDs. So lots of cores is going to depend on you. If you're going to put 1 or 2 Windows machines on there and they're going to be on 24/7, that's where I would be like, okay, now it might be time to think about something with a little more horsepower for sure. Technicans, you sure are trying that sudo command. Yeah. I think you need to run as administrator. Yeah, I think this is a Windows process right now. Let's see. Massam Online. Don't have much knowledge. Hey, you got plenty of knowledge. You're good. But if you're asking those questions, you understand the difference, I hope, between Kubernetes and Swarm. If you don't, and you just read those two terms and you're not sure about the two differences and you want to learn one of them, I would lean towards Kubernetes, just because it's quickly becoming, the de facto standard for a lot of orchestration or container orchestration out there. And not to say it will be forever. There won't be things that replace it, but man, a lot of companies use it. Let's see, Cryptics. I know about it. I have a few Hue devices and a few lamps. Oh, nice. DPNSO, put some good RAM and an SSD, and you can install some VMware containers. Awesome. That's what we were just talking about. Cryptics, do use it as a way to control home devices from Google Home and Alexa at the same time. Nice. But it was on my RPi 3. Raspberry Pi 3, nice. Snarky ATX, there we go, I can read it now. On your new build, do you feel, I think that 2 NICs per server will be enough? I'm building a similar config with Supermicros. Hold on, let me get this real quick. Yeah, great question. So that was in the back of my head the whole time. Do I go 10 gig or do I use that PCI Express slot for something else? And will 2 NICs be enough? And for me, it's going to be enough because I don't have any other options, but also because I kind of thought it through a little bit, and I've already worked some stuff out. And I'll spoil it. I don't care. So on my Proxmox cluster, I had the option to put in a 10 gig NIC, and 10 gig is, don't get me wrong, super awesome. But it requires a lot of additional hardware that I don't have. Requires not only hardware on the device, hardware in between, if I want to go to fiber, or additional DAT cables, and then I'm doing point to point. And then I only have one 10 gig SFP plus port on my switch. CompSci 282, thanks for the sub. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Wow, tier 1, thank you so much. Really appreciate CompSci 282. Oh yeah, thank you. Welcome. I think you're first time here too. Thank you so much. But back to your question. So you know, it just made it a little more complex and required a little more hardware than I had right now. And so what I ended up doing, and you'll probably see this soon, I ended up teaming my NICs. So I ended up setting up LACP. We'll probably have a lot of network administrators in here, so keep me honest if I say something wrong, because I'm not an expert at networking. So I set up LACP, which is also called a lag, which is 802.3.AD. I don't know how I remember this stuff. But what that did on my Proxmox server, and I set up VLANs, but what that did was actually give me NIC teaming. And so I had a lot of misconceptions about teaming. I thought, oh, great, this is going to double my bandwidth. This is going to give me 2 gigabit per second, and which it doesn't necessarily. But what I ended up doing is that I ended up setting up NIC teaming, both NICs, run both network cables to my switch, set up a link aggregate or a lag. These are complex terms for me as a software engineer. And then I think that's 802.3.AD. And so what that did give me was not necessarily, it didn't give me a 2 gigabit pipe. It gave me 2 1 gigabit pipes, which will help me. Most of the time it won't, but it will when I do saturate a 1 gig link. Then I can, it has a hashing algorithm where it figures out where to send the traffic. But at the end of the day, I can saturate 1 gigabit link with, say, backups, migrations, file transfers, whatever, and still have another gig to use for other clients. And so I looked at that as an option, and I got it working yesterday, and it's good enough for me. So that means I can run, when my backups are running at a gigabit per second, or TrueNAS is transferring something, or something's going on, and I saturate that gig link to one of my 1U virtualization servers, it can still balance and use, I don't know if it's load balancing, but it has a hashing algorithm to determine where to send that other traffic. That's how I understand it. So while I'd love to have 10 gig, and I wish I had a switch with more 10 gig ports, and I wish I had fiber, and I wish I could do all that. For me, I ended up settling on what I had, which fortunately I had a switch that supported, I think it's LACP, and then getting it configured in Proxmox isn't too hard either. And I got something coming for you. So it was pretty cool. And I did a couple of speed tests, and I was able to saturate a gig link with my backups, and then transfer some files to one of my virtual machines guests within there, and I could almost saturate that. So I was okay with that. Hey, Starchy Pancakes. Hey, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. And that's kind of what I was hinting at a little bit earlier too, when I said that, backups and things like that, network is only part of the equation when it comes to backups, restores, and migrations, because the CPU plays a big part in that too. And so, as does other things, and, hard drive speed and stuff like that. And so anyways, when I looked at it all, I'm happy. The other cool thing I realized too about LACP, I think it is, lag, or NIC teaming, is that it gave me some fault tolerance too. And I did some tests too. I'm just like, okay, I'm pinging one of my virtual machines, unplug the network cable, boom, NIC fails over to the other one, didn't miss a ping. There maybe an extra 5 millisecond lag when the NIC was switching over. But then, did the same thing, plugged it back in, unplugged the other, and didn't miss a beat. Not that I have to worry about like my network cables getting unplugged. It was just, for me, it was an added bonus. Other places, you have that fault tolerance built in data centers probably, and you probably have them going to different switches and all the way up to different systems. But for me, it was kind of cool. I'm like, sweet, I have some NIC teaming and some fault tolerance. Not that I'm ever going to use the fault tolerance piece unless I'm just like down there ripping out cables for no apparent reason. But I was more interested in getting So more bandwidth. I think the way that I read online explained is like, it doesn't, so if you think of it like the highway, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how it was explained to me. So Nick Teaming or LACP, keep me honest. Hey, one Josh, thanks for the resub. 2 months, Prime, thank you so much. Appreciate it, thank you. But the way someone explained it online that totally made sense for me, because I had to think about it a lot, was, I guess with my lag or my LACP, if you think of it like a highway, it's not like I've increased the speed limit. I've just added another lane on the highway. So the speed is still the same, but you can just get more cars through there. That's how I had to think about it. Because when I think about it like that, it's like, makes sense. I have two 1 gig pipes. They're still gonna go 1 gigabit per second, but now I have 2 pipes going there. So anyways, so that's the thing that did it for me. Anyways, that was a really long answer and a lot of hints at what's coming up. But I don't regret getting those servers just yet. And I do think that having 2 1 gigabit NICs on there is totally fine for my use. Because the things that would saturate those NICs are usually backups, restores, migrations. And backup, restores, and migrations, there's a piece to the equation that's more than just your pipe to your network. It's also CPU, RAM, disk speed too. And so anyways, long story. Hopefully that answers the questions. How are your printers doing? Oh my God, don't start there. Printer's not printing. And I didn't tell my wife that we couldn't print until she found out. She found out, when was it? Yesterday? No, was it yesterday? It was 2 days ago. She's like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I need to print. I was like, we can't print right now. She's like, we can't print? I was like, no. I was like, I need more time than 30 minutes to like figure it out. And I like didn't want to like spend 30 minutes this week to do it. So anyways, it was actually worked out for the better because then she's like, oh, well, I'll just use my iPad and I sent a picture to myself and I traced it to the iPad and it worked out better. So anyways, so yeah, I can't print yet. Soon, printing coming soon. And this all goes back to my network upgrade a while ago, and yeah, having VLANs and putting my printer on an IoT VLAN. One day, AirPrint will work. The AirPrint protocol, or any print protocol. I don't care what protocol, as long as it can discover it automatically and install the drivers. PC Geek, right, running VM for Proxmox with the Quorum disk. Yeah. Oh man, I'm real behind if this is what we're talking about. I'll catch you up. Bojang, speaking of printers, I could use a recommendation for a decent color laser. Oh my gosh, we can't talk about printers. I'm gonna ignore printer ones. I can't give a recommendation on a color. I know a sweet personal black and white, but that's all I've had for years. Prints labels for me to ship stuff. PC Geek, you can vote for the other two. Nice. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was reading about. This like a Pi that can run CoroSync. PC Geek, color one I had for about 10 years so far. Nice. We're not talking about printers. I need a printer one. Actually, we have a printer one. It's free. It comes with the operating system. I think Twitch has a printer remote too. If not, just copy and paste it. Treadstone, be warned too, even not in HA will still need a quorum. I lost my router on a 2-node because they couldn't communicate with each other after reboot. The VMs won't start without a quorum. Oh, I need to look into that. Interesting. So I might have to spin up CoroSync on a Raspberry Pi somewhere and do this hack job I was talking about earlier. Nice. I'll have to look at that. Yeah. I know they need to be able to contact each other. But I haven't turned on HA. So I thought most of that was going to be okay. And it looks like I need to do a little research. Thanks for the heads up though, for sure. Zaki Talib, hey, what's up? How's it going? Sorry, just getting your comment. Penguin Airlines, how's it going? It's always DNS, yeah. Andrew, Oscar, Delta, how's it going? Bojangs, HP, cool. Oh gosh, I'm not gonna even acknowledge printers exist. We saw what happened last time. Josh Smith, I use Unraid. I was not a fan because of lack of snapshots and backups for the VM. Hey, good to know. Haven't used it yet. But I really did like the ease of use of it. Use it for as far as the NAS is concerned. Nice. Zaki Talib, were you in the Marine Corps, by the way? You have a Marine vibe. No, I was not in the Marine Corps. No, not at all. No, I haven't been in the military. Hopefully, I I wonder what the vibe's from. I don't know. It's probably my my kind of accent. I don't know. But no, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate and respect everyone who's served in the military. I think I'm too weak to do that. But yeah, no, I wasn't in the Marines. Utmost respect to everyone who served, and thank you for your service. PC Geek, on Arch you can use QEMU, KVM, which is what Proxmox is under the hood. Yeah. All right, getting caught up. Yep, the most Linux-based hypervisors are KVM, QEMU, libvirt based. And you can build your own if you don't want a certain front end. Yeah, nice. I would love to see that. Yeah. DPNSO, I have 3-node Proxmox cluster, use it for storage. I don't think I will have VMs on the Unraid. Captureholic, sir, can you please make a bot? Sir, this one's serious. Sir, can you make a bot with all commands, please, sir? Oh God. Captureholic, I have a bot out there that you can absolutely use. It has one command. You're definitely free to use it. I don't know if you're talking about Discord or Twitch. The Twitch one has every event possible wired up to it. The Discord one, absolutely, you're free to make some requests in the GitHub or open a pull request. Absolutely. Catter, hi. How are we rerouting DNS on a router to force apply DNS all connected device? I'm using Pi-hole to suck. It sucked to type in DNS on every device. Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm Catter or Catre. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. I have that same kind of problem with my UDM too. It kind of stinks. But yeah, I don't know. I wish something could write to Pi-hole's DNS and I could just rely on Pi-hole's DNS for everything. I don't know the answer to that. Cryptics. Well, I just found out about Apache Cloud Stack, so I think I'm good now. Oh, nice. PC Geek, I'm thinking on my new server, I want to put a GPU in it and use a VirtIO GPU to share it to VMs pass-through to do stuff. I think you can use with Spice Client. Nice. TD5150, the super micro servers you bought look great. Thinking about buying one. My server rack is in a home office. How about the fans? Yeah, great question. So last night, full tilt, I migrated every virtual machine onto one virtual server because I had to migrate TrueNAS to one virtual machine or one Proxmox server. And I only wanted that on that because I had to take it down to put in the HBA controller. And honestly, I mean, is it loud? Can it get loud? Sure. I mean, as can a Dell R710 or even my disk shelf, you know, depending on how much, how pegged the CPU is. Was it like annoyingly loud? No, it does have a different pitch to it though, too. You know, those fans, since they're smaller, you know, they're a little whinier, but that's only when, you know, it's getting really, really warm. You know, they have the higher pitch sound. But on day to day, like if I go down there now, I'll say this. So I was able to shut down 2 servers, my Dell R710 and then my PC conversion. And after shutting those down and then turning on my 2 super micros, it was like a net 0 on sound. Different frequency, but not any louder than my 710 was running, because I was running all of my virtual machines but one. So, you know, the fans were kind of up there. And then my other PC conversion, which didn't make a ton of sound either, but that had a video card in it where it was cranking out the RPMs on the fan. So it's tough. You know, I could post a video about the sound, but whenever you see those, you're like, geez, that's so loud. Like anytime someone's like, hey, check out these you know, how loud is something? You know, how loud is the server? And then they turn it on, you have headphones, you're like, whoa, that's so loud. But it's different. It's different. And I could show you the decibels, but still it's hard to gauge sound that way too. But anyways, a net 0, I'd say on sound difference between my 2 servers before and after. Different pitch, but not louder. And I noticed too that And this is probably because, you know, now I have my virtual machines kind of spread across two for now. The fans run at a lower RPM. But if I were to put everything that I had from those two servers on one server, then yeah, I can hear the fans going, especially some of the TrueNAS, one of the TrueNAS bugs that's in there right now. I've started to figure it out. It's the iSCSI bug that's in there now is actually pegging my CPU. So when my CPU gets pegged, it's actually pegging the CPU of my Proxmox host. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully that helps. You know, they're not crazy loud unless you're thinking about running however many cores you have at 100% all day long. Then yeah. Lost MF, you need Optane for those new 1U servers. I don't think so. I don't know. I kind of touched on it, you know, in that video. I don't know if the cost is worth it for me, at least. You know, I needed 8 drives and I needed 8 SSDs, you know, 4 per server. And, you know, the added cost, the cost, you know, performance, you know, analysis wasn't there for me, because I'm not going to spend $200-300 per drive times 8 to have, you know, drives that might last a little bit longer. And maybe a little more performance. And at the same time, knowing that these drives, the ones I bought are on sale right now, $99, you know, half off. And on top of that, they have a 5-year warranty. So, you know, I'm willing to roll the dice, especially since they're in an array. You know, they're in a mirror, a striped mirror. And so I could lose 2. And so I'm okay with that, especially at the price I paid. And so, yeah, while it would be cool to get those, I can't afford that stuff. That stuff's crazy expensive. Times 8. Lincoln Show. All right. This guy. All right. Here we go. Hold on one second. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, man. It's spying. Totally. Anyways, I had to take care of something because, like, spam. All right. What? Anyways, I can't even do with the controls from here. Bacon Hawk. Hey, man, how's it going, dude? Bacon Hawk, how's it going, man? How are you? Sorry, I was just trying to do something, but the Twitch UI isn't working. Dude, Bacon Hawk, thank you so much. Dude, resub, tier 1, 4 months. Dude, thank you so much. How are you doing? Hopefully I can see, maybe I can't see his comment. I don't know if he's subbed and he's in here, but Bacon Hawk's awesome. He's actually, he's a mod for Small Streamers Connect, and he does a fantastic job. And so he stopped in. So thanks. Good to see you, dude. How are you? Thanks for the sub, dude. Really appreciate it. Cryptics. Oh my gosh. I'm getting there. Catter, you look more emotional than you do on YouTube. I know, that's tough. And I've said it a couple times. I do the opposite. You know, usually people bring the energy on YouTube and YouTube's over the top. I don't get energized by myself. And so it's tough for me to look at a camera and just talk to a camera and have all this energy, especially when doing tech tutorials. So this one, I totally get energized by you guys and just being just hanging out with you guys and being able to talk about stuff. A lot more energy here, and it's not by design. It's easier to talk to people, at least to chat, than it is, to a camera without any kind of response whatsoever. There are many variations of lag too. Oh yeah. I'm not an expert for sure. 2x1G, not 1 times. Yeah, I think Mr. Heartstomper. Thank you. I like that. 2 times 1 gig, not 1 times 2 gig. I like it. That's an easy way to think of it too. Yeah. Alan Molson, network engineer here. You're killing it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I always want people to correct me if I'm wrong, because I learn about this stuff for like 15, 20 minutes and I apply it, and then either I don't remember it or I repeat it wrong. So that one was pretty fresh though. I got that set up last night. So I don't know. It's been working out for me. I appreciate it. Thank you. And if I am wrong and I said anything wrong, correct me, because I don't want people to say, well, that guy said it. I heard it on the internet and he said it. No. PC Geek, right. Lag is not to get faster. It is to allow more throughput, like adding more straws you could drink through. I like that analogy too. I like that one. what's, in your opinion, the most stable, secure Linux distribution out there to use in production? Ooh, that one's tough. That one's tough. You know, I don't have a great answer for that one because I'm sure there are a lot of people who do it professionally. Hey, Blackhawk, Black H and HQ, thanks for the follow, appreciate it, welcome. But Lincoln Shadow, that one's tough. I'm sure there are a lot of people who in here, Linux administrators or system administrators that manage lots of Linux systems. You know, I choose Ubuntu because I'm comfortable with it, because I'm familiar with it, because I've been using it since like version 4, which is, you know, as you may know, it's based on Debian. Debian's really stable. But yeah, that one's a tough one. I mean, I use Ubuntu because it's well supported. A lot of the tools that I use support it as well, the LTS version. And so for me, it's an easy choice because that's how I got started on Linux. But that's not to say it's the best one to use for production. I mean, you know, Red Hat, you know, has a lot of enterprise stuff too. And so, yeah, maybe someone else can help me on that one. If you know of a Linux distribution, or I guess, what's your favorite Linux distribution and what's the best one to use in production? I think, yeah, I'll just put it that way. A lot of the places I worked at too, I didn't have a choice. It's what they use there, you know. So that's a tough one. XOR, good stream. Gotta run. Good night, all. Hey, XOR, dude, thanks so much. Thanks for stopping in, man. Penguin Airlines, pseudo classy. Yeah, pseudo classy to have the $sign like a proper non-root prompt. Yeah, you know, I was looking at examples of it like in documentation. I was like, I almost put like the caret going over too, but I was like, this won't fit on here. Yeah, let me know. Should I remove it? I don't know. I actually have it right here. It would only take like 2 seconds to remove too. I should actually show you this. Let me get to the comments and I'll just show you these. And I mean, you guys probably know them. You guys know, I mean, you can obviously use them now. But real quick, let me go through here. Bojang's, but with the fault tolerance, are both of those NICs plugged into the same switch? Yeah, they are. They are. So not a lot of fault tolerance there. You know, it would only help me if I accidentally unplugged one of the NICs burned out or a switch port burned out. But you're absolutely right. They should go all the way up, all the way back somewhere on separate stuff too. But yeah, good call. One Josh, do you use Django stuff? Looking to get into it because I know a little Python, but wanted to make my first web app. I don't, unfortunately. No, I use, I was going to say plain old React. It's not plain old, I guess, but I use React. I've used Angular, and I've done server-side rendering with React and Node too. But most of the time I create abstracted UIs, and I keep my backend and front end like totally separate so that my front end is just a front end and it communicates over REST to my backends. And so, anyways, that was a whole tangent about nothing. I haven't done any Django stuff. It looks super cool. It looks super cool for sure, but I haven't. Super popular for sure. Dragon Slayer, glad I found your channel. I'm just starting to get my feet wet with Docker Kubernetes Rancher, and your videos have been great. Having an issue with an internal cluster DNS not resolving, but I'm guessing that has to do with my nodes running in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, trying to get familiar with it. It could be. I don't remember if that's a supported OS. You would think it would be. You would think it would be for Kubernetes or for Rancher. Hopefully. But yeah, DNS, man. DNS, especially in Kubernetes, is like, it's kind of magic. It's actually fantastic until it stops working. Because, yeah, especially in Kubernetes, that's where it's like as if DNS wasn't already problematic. You know, then you have DNS within Kubernetes, which who knows what's going to come out of there. No, but let me know. We have Discord. We have a Discord community too. I can, if I remember, I can look into that too about Red Hat support on there. Dreadstone, you can run a cron job that basically says on boot, set up expected number of votes to 1. But that's basically only good for one command. I guess you probably won't have to worry because you're not virtualizing your router anymore. Yeah, that's true too. That's a good call. Yeah, I can do that. I need to look into it. I'm like getting all worried now. I'm like freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, like, because I set up HA or not HA, set up a cluster, non-HA mode, and I didn't think I had to worry about if they both went off, offline. Because Philly Phil. All right, Philly Phil. It's funny. We used to call someone Philly Phil when I was younger. Philly Phil, hey there. I'm starting a project with some friends of mine from uni. We are building a web app that connects our first year students to upper students. We're using the mean stack. Would love to get some tips on security. Oh, wow, you're going all in. So mean stack, Mongo, Express, Angular, Node, right? Would love to get some tips on security. Oh, gosh. How much time you got? No. So I've done some mean stack stuff in the past. I've done some Angular stuff in the past. Obviously I do Node stuff too and Express stuff too. It kind of depends. I mean, earlier when I was talking about, hey, I like to kind of separate my UIs and my back end and front end. I mean, I do. I mean, mean kind of pulls it all together. I think they do in one stack. Well, I haven't used a generator for it. Hopefully the UI is still abstracted. It would have to be, I think, if it's Angular. I don't think you run Angular server side. But I mean, security is going to be your typical web security stuff. I mean, you're going to use JSON web tokens. You're going to use some kind of, okay, so first you're going to use some kind of authentication, right? You're not going to allow possibly public access to this website. Then you're going to have some way to authorize those people that then will issue them tokens. And then when they get those tokens, they can make those service calls to those APIs. And that's going to be, I mean, that's basic authentication stuff. And then you get into authorization stuff, which, what can they do once they are authenticated? That's your auth, I guess, auth Z stuff. And so that, that's going to be, I guess, dictated somewhere by, what roles you have in the app. So if you have an administrator role or you have a super user role or you just have normal user roles, that will dictate, what they can do within the application, which will probably give them some kind of role, which means that they can then do these certain things in the app, which translates to service calls that uses verbs against APIs, and so on and so forth. So anyways, it's like a huge topic, but yeah, I would say define your roles up front. That'll make everything a lot easier later. Because if you don't define your roles up front and you just go out and build a ton of stuff, and then you're like, well, this person can do this click this one button, but this other person can't. Well, why can't they? Well, because they're not an administrator. If you start to think the roles and I guess right up front, like what people can and can't do with those roles, then you just enforce it with code and tokens. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably not the best answer, but that's a big question. Hopefully that kind of helps. Those are the kinds of things I think about at first when building a new UI. It's, hey, what are people going to be able to do in here? And what are the types of people that are going to use this? What roles should they have? What can and can't they do? And then you build the APIs that enforce that. But then at the same time, on the UI, you prevent that. So it's a combination of preventing people from doing things they can't do anyways. So that they never get into a situation where they're trying to, delete a record for something when they can't delete anyways, But anyways, hopefully that helps. Let me know, Philly Phil. Lost FM, I'll send you some. Just for caching. Oh, yeah, that's true. Hey, good call. I didn't think about the caching. You don't need to send me some, but yeah. Also, I only had 4 drives to begin with, but yeah. I didn't think about that for caching. Would caching help a ton in Proxmox for a striped mirror if they're all virtual machines? Because I'm not a storage expert, but I think that would be cool for sure. Compsci, thanks for the follow. Compsci, I think you subbed before I follow. All right, thank you so much. And Philly Phil, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Bacon Hawk, thank you so much. Hey man, long time. Yeah. Now I'm seeing your comments. I apologize, getting caught up. Good, just got a moment to stop in. Happy to see you in here. Yeah, thanks, dude. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate all you do too for Small Streamers Connect for sure. Penguin Airlines, best to remember the commands or get an extension to deal with Twitch controls. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, where I'm looking, when I clicked, when I was clicking, I don't have all my controls in OBS for whatever reason. Bacon Hawkinator, heck yeah, the Midwest is nice, easy, better to talk to people. Yeah, man. Black Hawk in HQ. Wow, there are channels like this on Twitch. I'm not. Are there? Yeah. Penguin Airlines. Now, I'm saying that's best if you put a sudo. It would be kind of silly since you're already root. I like it. Yeah, I just looked at, I see that in documentation a lot, and I never understood the difference until I was probably like 2 months ago when I think I asked in Discord. I'm like, why do people show the $? Like, that just gets in the way when I copy and paste. And I think you explained it nicely. Yeah, so it's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, all right. Yes. I was going for looks over. I was going for what, form over function on that one. I was like, what looks the best? The $ looks a little bit better. But thank you. Haha, beat me to it. Yeah. It does help, thanks. Pound or hashtag. Yeah, see, you can show what generation you're from. If you say pound or hashtag, I'll say hashtag. I'll lean that way. Hashtag is a root user shell. $ is a non-root user shell in Bash anyways. Yeah, I like it. Here, I'll actually even show you. This is what I was doing earlier today. It was like, hey, let's make some stuff. And so, yeah, I wasn't really sure when I was doing it. Like at first I had this like this. Like I was like, does it need to be here? You know, and then I had this over here. This is all it is. This is, and I apologize that it took me so long to, oh my gosh, can you really? Oh, I'm not on a Mac. I need that emote. You're not on a Mac. Every time you hear that noise from Windows, that means I'm using Alt, which is Command when I'm developing and trying to do some Command C. See? Instead of Control C or Control Z or Control. Yeah. So anytime you hear that, that means I'm using a Mac command instead of a Windows command because I use a Mac all day for development. That would be okay. That would be correct though, because you would type sudo in the $. Sudo. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, I was thinking like, yeah, I wasn't even sure like if I needed that, but then I was like, oh yeah. Oh, but you're saying that if the $ is there, it means that you have to, that I'm in normal user mode. Is that why it shows up? The $. Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of, I don't know. I was just like trying to think of some things that, you know, come up a little bit too. And like with this one, like I wasn't even sure about the color, but I thought, oh, okay, green. I know we talked about this one. I think you guys showed some examples of this one. Cypher, a non-root from what Penguin was saying. Okay, gotcha. Non-root. Yeah, and really the colors are up to you guys. Like I was just like, I thought green looked kind of good here. And then, you know, for this one, I was just like, give me the run as administrator, the Windows 10 shield, and I'll just use that. I'll figure it out later. Yeah, it's always DNS. This is the other one I was working on too. I kind of wanted this like bigger, which, you know, this doesn't come through the greatest on Twitch. Like when you use it, it's just like, at least you can see the DNS part. And I guess if you hover, you can see it a little bit better too. So I uploaded a high quality one. So I guess that's a little bit better. This one's kind of weak. I couldn't find out, like I wanted a way, here we go. Penguin Airlines, do you have official channel colors? We could scheme everything together that way. Hey, yeah, good point. I kind of do. It's kind of in my logo. You know, it's this kind of teal, dark blue and white, I guess. But yeah, that's a good point. I could. Yeah. I'll write that down because I can freshen them up. The important part for now, at least for me, is that like they're here and you guys, I don't have to say like, hey, I'm gonna come up with emotes sometimes. But yeah, that's a theme branding. I like it. Link Shadow. You have to make one. Like, it's always not safe for work, block firewall. Yeah, it's always not safe for work. Yeah, that's a point. Yeah, I could do that too. This I'm gonna say right off the bat that this one's pretty weak, the lock. But I wanted a way to like, let people know that like, hey, you should probably reset your password or change your password now. Because every now and then, like, people will just be doing something and they'll paste their password in chat. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, we have no idea what system it's for. And most of the time it's random, but sometimes it's not. And so I just wanted a way to like quick tell people like, hey, you should probably reset that password. But yeah. Black H and HQ. Any advice about programming Arduino for a beginner and is collecting data via LiDAR on Arduino a viable option? Yeah. Good question. I've done zero this much on Arduino. We need a printer too, for sure. I wish I had an answer for you. I haven't done anything on Arduino. I know some people that have done some music stuff on Arduino, but not me. I haven't done anything on Arduino, period. All of my IoT stuff that I've done, like back there, my LED panel and stuff like that, has all been Raspberry Pi. I wish I had some advice. If anyone else has some advice about Arduino stuff, yeah, let Black H and HQ, let them know. Arduino. We worth mentioning, I'm gonna plug it, that we do have an IoT channel too in our Discord. So I will post it here. Maybe someone else within their Discord might know it too. Cypher. I was messing around with an Xbox 360 Kinect cameras and a Raspberry Pi for photogrammetry scanning. LiDAR looks awesome. One simple week, yeah. Pathetic. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know you could hook up your 360 cameras or your Kinect cameras to a Raspberry Pi. That looks pretty awesome. Super Geek. How did I even get Super Geek? Oh, I kind of like it though. I was reading Superhouse TV. The PC, oh man, my eyes are almost shot for today. The PC Geek, Superhouse TV has some great stuff on his YouTube channel and Arduino's nice. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Treadstone. The quick brown fox ran quick far all day and night. Yeah, I like it. Cotter, for Arduino only, if you really desire to learn microchip, you should learn how to code on ASM. Yeah, awesome. Budweiser, oh my gosh, it's messing with my eye. Budweiser, I like it. Arduino can definitely log some LiDAR info. Nice. Cypher, 3D scanning objects using Blender. Man, you guys know this stuff. Awesome. Hey guys, I know I'm going to cut it a little bit short, and I usually cut it off about right now. Actually, a little bit shorter than this. But I am going to call it a night. I'm going to wrap things up. As always, we always have a lot of stuff to do, but I got to take care of some stuff too, like always. Man, thank you so much for stopping in tonight and for hanging out. There were lots of people in the channel, lots of new names too, for sure. If you're new and you want to talk about some of these topics elsewhere, we have a Discord server. We have a Discord server full of different people from different walks of life, from different areas of the earth, who have a lot of similar or dissimilar interests. Who are interested in technology. And so we absolutely have a Discord channel for that. I will post it here. And if you like, I would love for you to join. First of all, I want to say thanks for everyone for tuning in, for hanging out, for chatting. There were lots of subs in there and lots of follows, so I greatly appreciate that for sure. The other day is a pretty cool stream going right now. Terraform. Oh, yeah. Let's raid someone. Yeah, we'll do it for sure. And I'll send them off that way. But I wanted to say, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. We are definitely going to raid someone because I always want to pass on the love that you guys are showing. just a quick note, no stream Thursday. You guys probably knew I'm not going to stream on Thanksgiving. So if you're in the US, have a happy Thanksgiving. If you're not in the US, have a happy Thursday, but I won't be here. I will be back on Saturday though. And yeah, let's raid someone. Let's find someone to raid. Let me pull this up before I do, and let me mute some stuff because I can't remember if mute site before I get a DMCA takedown. Oh yeah, Mastermind's on again. We raided him last time. Let me just check to make sure. Let me, because I want to share the love, because I've been doing a one raid. Let's go here. So Mastermind's on, that's for sure. Yeah, he's awesome. Let's go in here. I don't know what's playing down here, probably commercials. Yeah, so the algorithm is saying, number 1 for me is Mastermind. Number 2 is myself. Hackbox sacrifices to Dread. What is going on here? Cthulhu, come learn the dark arts of hacking. Huh, this guy. Al Hazard? It looks like Al Hazard. Yeah. I mean, we could do Mastermind again. We did Mastermind last time. Hack the Box is cool. Okay. Hack the Box, we'll do Hack the Box. Let's go for that. Penguin Airlines says him. Let me do something real quick, just in case. Just in case you don't have emojis to spam or whatever. You can spam mine. I don't really care. I don't know how people, if people like that or not. I don't know. When I get rated, I love it when people spam all kinds of stuff. But if you want something to copy and paste, it's there. If not, you can just say hello to him. But yeah, I think we're gonna raid. This looks like Al Hazard. It looks like Al Hazard. We're gonna do it for sure. So let me get this in here in the command before I do it. Oh my gosh, and the names are so hard to type. I'm sure there's a button, but I do it totally old school, and I do it like a terminal in my window. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic week. I will see you on Saturday. If you're in the US and you celebrate Thanksgiving, have a fantastic Thanksgiving. And I will see you guys on Saturday. I'm gonna start the raid. Oh, it's gonna go. Here we go. Hop in, get active. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Be good to each other.